Forget about Trump. Nothing to do with Trump. Everything to do about America and the New York brand. I love this state. My children live here. A horrible message to everybody around the world watching this. Absolutely horrific.
Well,
this
wait,
case
Kevin,
goes
Kevin,
way
but
past
hold on
Trump.
a second, Kevin.
Trump
What
will
would
be
be
gone one day. This
hold on a
attorney
second.
general will be gone one day. And this
I
is
have
what
a
you want to
wonderful
tell
voice,
people
and
around
it
the
won't
world.
be talked
This
over.
is how we
Kevin
treat money
O'Leary,
in America.
I would like to
this
hear what you have
is
to say,
not
but
America.
I do love it when news anchors and hosts of shows start talking to their guests like they're children. We have unprecedented use of our court system and a complete and total twisting of our basic jurisprudence and laws in this country to try to bankrupt Donald Trump and stop him from being able to run a campaign. They even tried to keep him off the ballot. Thankfully, the Supreme Court stepped in on that. But the fallout from the judgment against him in New York for his basic acceptable business dealings in that city with regard to loans and real estate, it continues to have a ripple effect. And Kevin O'Leary has probably been the best outspoken advocate, not for Donald Trump, but for the truth and for basic fairness in our judicial system. And as a businessman, he's been a voice of reason for business to be able to absolutely transpire in this country without the threat of another lawsuit like we saw against Donald Trump. He was on CNN, again, speaking truth to power, and it's brilliant.
I don't think this case is about Trump anymore. I think this case is about New York. It's about the American brand. It's about what we promised the world in terms of fairness and justice and investing capital in a country that's built the largest economy on earth. Forfeiture, seizing of assets. Is that in our nomenclature in America? Is that what we tell people that want to bring their money here and protect property rights? Forget about Trump. Nothing to do with Trump. You think this is good for business in New York? You think this is good for business in America? To take a law that we used to protect people against buying refrigerators at an overpriced value decades ago and apply it against an individual and then talk about seizing assets like he was in Venezuela or in Cuba? This is a very, very, very bad look for New York. And everybody around the world is watching this. This may be great for the Attorney General, but this is not good for America.
But in terms of the valuation, can you be clear as to why? I mean, why would the properties not be sufficient collateral?
What a great message to send out all around the world. Take a claim where there was no monies lost. There was no fraud here in the context of actually people losing money. Deutsche Bank, who made the loan, was made whole. And let's make a penalty of $500 million against a crime, apparently, where no monies were lost. Great message for New York. Great message for America. Bring your capital because we'll protect your property. I think that was a statement that would be much better made sometime in Venezuela. I'm not kidding. That's a scary, scary message. And by the way, there are no such thing as $500 million bonds. There are no $500 million bonds. Never been done before. Never. This law has never been applied. Forget about Trump. Nothing to do with Trump. Everything to do about America and the New York brand. I love this state. My children live here. A horrible message to everybody around the world watching this. Absolutely horrific.
Well, wait, Kevin, but hold on a second. Kevin,
Trump
what would
will
be
gone one day. This
hold on a
attorney
second.
general will be gone one day. And this
I
is
have
what
a
you want to
wonderful
tell
voice,
people
and
around
it
the
won't
world.
be talked
This
over.
is how we
Kevin
treat money
O'Leary,
in America.
I would like to hear what you have to say, but
America.
What are you doing?
Not America.
But it's not America, but it is.
Very upset. You know, you don't bring a guest on and ask them their opinion and then start yelling at them because they're delivering it. I understand she doesn't like crosstalk, and I don't like crosstalk on these shows either. But listen, if that's who you have with Kevin O'Leary, what is this? I have a wonderful voice and it won't be spoken over. I do love it when news anchors and hosts of shows start talking to their guests like they're children. It went a little bit friendlier, but with a very similar and frankly even more powerful message over there on Fox News Channel. Here's Kevin O'Leary a little more.
But more importantly, the message about the American brand.
Hmm.
You think about America, the reason this is the number one economy on earth is that we have laws and we have due process and we have property rights. It attracts foreign capital from all around the world. All of that is being shaken to the core here. The concept of seizing assets in 30 days on a bond number that's never been issued. No insurance bond company's ever issued anything near this. So there was no chance it was going to happen. And only giving 30 days notice and time, that's a really bad message. And I think New Yorkers should think well past Trump, whether he's president or not, or whether this attorney general is gone in 4 years or not, it's irrelevant. This is case setting against the American brand, the most stable country on earth, anywhere to put capital to work over a long period of time, particularly in real estate, is the United States of America. This is an assault on what we believe to be core. And I find it extraordinary. I think it's very troubling. It has absolutely nothing to do with Donald Trump at this point, in my view, and it is completely bipartisan. This is an attack on America. And I don't know how you can look at it any other way. And as an investor, and I know plenty of investors are completely disturbed by this, but I mean, no one is going to put any money to work in New York in these amounts until this thing settles down. The whole world is watching, and everybody's waiting for one thing we haven't got yet: adult supervision. Where is it? Where are the adults in this crazy narrative? Certainly there's got to be adult supervision at some point. And I understand, you know, the war going on here and all the political yada, yada, woof, woof, woof. But we need an adult in the room now. This is the United States of America under siege.
Super powerful and undebatable. And you don't hear anybody actually coming up and saying, oh, no, this is all good. This is good for our economy and it's good for the way business is done. Where is that business leader who is saying that? Not even Mark Cuban can bring himself to say it. And he'll jump through any woke loop that he has to jump through to please the people that he needs to please. No, that's not what's happening here, because it's undeniable. O'Leary is powerful here also because he doesn't make it about politics and he doesn't make it about Trump. He keeps reiterating that. This has transcended Trump now. You know, last week's episode of Andrew Klavan's great podcast, honestly, kid you not, the only political podcast I listen to is Andrew Klavan, mostly because I don't want to accidentally repeat something that I hear from another political podcast. And also, I do this for a living, so why would I spend my time listening to other people do what I do, right? Any podcast I listen to isn't about news and politics. It's about other stuff, cooking, faith, Christianity, stuff like that. But Klavan I'll listen to, mostly because, you know, I feel sorry for him. He's older than me. He made a really important point this week. He talked about the price you pay, the spiritual price you pay for whatever gains you may have made, for whatever decision you make. It's all over the Bible. Our ethical monotheistic faiths, whichever one you subscribe to, is replete with the earthly choices you make and the spiritual ramifications, good and bad. Some choices that you make, or refuse to make for that matter, here on earth will have spiritual benefits or repercussions. This is exactly what we're seeing play out right now as we speak in the state of New York and in the United States of America. These politicians made a choice. This Attorney General, Letitia James, made a choice. The governor, Kathy Hochul, they made a choice. The Democrats writ large, they made a choice. They were going to throw everything they had at Donald Trump. He must be stopped, no matter what. Even if that means doing things that have never been done in this country before. Even if it means interpreting financial laws, in this case, in ways that they have never been interpreted before, because they could find a way with just a judge making the decision, not a jury, just a judge who looks at these things and determines, yep, the law has been broken and we're now going to fine you, what is it, $500 million or something? Oh, that's the bond he has to post. And collateralize every single piece of his real estate against that, so that he can appeal, because he can't appeal until you put the collateral up for that bond. And the fine that was levied for practices that every businessman that I've seen says is 100% normal. They decided to pay that price. They decided to reinterpret all these laws and twist our laws as they exist for one purpose, and that is to get Donald Trump. And it may work. They may get him. They may get him. We have to face the fact that they may get him. We may have to face the fact that there are enough Americans here, even if they don't understand the law as it's being applied to Donald Trump, will just blindly say, I don't care. He's been found guilty and I can't vote for him. And they may win. But the price that's paid, the spiritual price that's paid, or as O'Leary is pointing out here, the very tangible price that is paid with regard to our free market economy and the way business has not just been done and executed in this country, but what has made our country thrive as still the single strongest, greatest economy for 80 years running now? And it was worth it to throw all of that out and criminalize basic financial transactions that have been normalized for years, but you're going to criminalize those now because you had one goal in mind, and that is to get Donald Trump. They are sick. They are sick. They are sick in the head and they are sick in the soul if they are willing to trade all of that just so they can get the bad orange man. But of course, it's not just about getting the bad orange man. There's one other part of this that's probably the most important part. You see, that bad orange man happens to be the single man that is standing in the way of them retaining power. And that's what this is all about. Yeah, to them, it's worth it to hold on to power. And it should make you ask a very simple and important question. If it's worth it to them to do all of this and twist and warp and bastardize our very financial institutions for the sake of retaining power, you got to ask yourself, good God, what kind of power do they really have? And what have they used it for? And what are they willing to use it for against us? That's quite a bit of power. Power that I don't think you or I ever agreed to give them. They've just taken it. And boy, oh boy, are they not giving it back.